It's a good sermon without starting off with a technical difficulty. That's all right. Well, I'll just use this one unless Carl brings one out here. I will swap it over, that'd be fine. But anyway, good morning. Good to see everyone out this morning. Several folks here, some faces I hadn't seen in a while. Seems like me and Rachel's always gone somewhere. Got to go do something or be in some other state or whatever, but we're glad to be here this morning. We're glad that you're here this morning. So I don't know if Shelby knew that I was going to preach this morning, but surprised she hadn't got up and left yet. But anyway, and then Cassie and Adelaide had listened to me in class this morning, so they were real put out. But we'll make do. That's all right. We'll be all right. Well, this morning, again, thanks for letting me speak to you this morning. God will never leave you stranded. God will never hang you out to dry. God will never turn his back on you. And God will never not want to love, help, and save your soul. God wants to be a part of your life, and He doesn't want you, a child of God, a child of His that He loves more than we can imagine, to sink to the bottom and never come back up. God is chasing after you, and He wants you to walk a life with Him, and He wants you to go to heaven. He wants that for you. He wants you to go to heaven. And isn't that what we want? Isn't that what we want? He won't let you sink to the deep, dark bottom of the ocean of no return. That's not the God that we serve. If you've got your Bible this morning, you can open up to Matthew chapter 14. I think I preached on this passage before here, but I think I've got a little different twist on it today. But this is after Jesus fed the 5,000, or like we learned in class this morning, maybe a few more than the 5,000. But this is the story of where Jesus walks on the sea. You know this story. Everybody does. It's kind of a Sunday school story, I could call it. You know, from a young age, everybody knows about Jesus walking on the water, right? But we're going to read Matthew 14, starting in verse 22. It says, "Immediately Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. Now when evening came, he was alone there. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. Now in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, 'It's a ghost,' and they cried out for fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, 'Be of good cheer, it is I. Do not be afraid.' And Peter answered him and said, 'Lord, if it is you, command me to come out to you on the water.' So he said, 'Come.' When Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind was boisterous, he was afraid. And beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, 'Lord, save me.' Immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him and said to him, 'O you of little faith, why did you doubt?' And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Then those who were in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, 'Truly you are the Son of God.'" Like I say, this is a story that I think everybody here knows. Peter, I think I preached his sermon here a while back, where I questioned the fact, why did Peter want out of the boat so bad? You know, why did he want to jump out there with Jesus? If it had been me, I'd just kind of said, "You got it handled. You're good. You can handle this." But no, Peter wanted to get out. But I'm going to put a little different twist on it, I think. And the reason it got me what got me thinking about this was here a while back, we went to, me and Rachel went to Branson, and I know a lot of y'all have heard of the Sight and Sound Theater. But then we went and saw Jesus. A lot of you probably have seen it. Some of you may not have. I thought it was great. I'd recommend it to anybody, and before I get too far into it, no, I'm not getting paid up here to endorse it. But I did think that it was a good show. And ever since we went, I hadn't been able to get it out of my head, this one part in the show. And if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, there's a lot of choreographed stuff. There's a lot of singing and stuff like that, which I don't have a problem with. You know, it's a theater. It's entertainment. But it also has the story of Jesus involved in it. I think that exposes a lot of people that they may never walk through the door of a church, but they'll go there for entertainment. You know, so that's my take on it. You have your opinion as you want to, but you know, they had a lot of different effects, and this one part is what really got to me. It really made the hair stand up on the back of my neck, really gave me chills. No lie, gave me goosebumps while I was sitting there watching it. And it is the scene where Jesus is walking on the water. Like I said, if you've seen it, you'll know the stage is right here, and they had some stuff kind of rise up, look like water, and the boat's over here, and it's, you know, moving all around, and then here comes Jesus, kind of from the side stage, walking on it. Now, how they were making him do that, I don't know. But anyway, he was walking on the water, and here's the boat over here, and of course Peter, right on cue, he wants to come out in the water with Jesus. So he starts walking over there to him, and they're doing a really good job of seeing how this played out, because I'm sure Peter didn't just run over there. I'm sure he was kind of, you know, this is the Logan version, I guess. But he walks over there really, really slowly, carefully, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if they had a trap door or what, but anyway, Peter just drops down. He drops down, and he is under, and all you can see, all they allowed you to see in that moment, is about this much of his hand above the water. That's it. And then, I say this is the climax of the show because it was so cool. It was really cool. Jesus, and I don't know how they did this either, walking this way toward Peter. He sees Peter go under, and then he goes over to Peter's hand. He sees it up here, and it's slow motion. It was so cool. It was slow motion, and Jesus does like this. I don't know how they did it. He does like this, and they lock hands like you see in this picture right here. And then right when they lock hands, he pulls him out, and it's just like, pulled him up. And the whole crowd just went nuts. You know, it was just, everybody just thought that was the coolest thing, including me, as you can tell, especially being slow motion. But I thought right there, in that moment, I thought, that's me. That's you. And I don't get emotional over stuff, but man, that really threw me for a loop. That's me. God sent Jesus, his one and only Son, down to earth to be a human, feel what you and I feel every day, experience being God and human at the same time, and then go through what he went through undeservingly, all to be able to make it possible to reach down and grab you and me. To reach down and save you and me from an eternity of deep, dark nothing. From an eternity that would not quite add up to heaven. Now you can tell me how all of that makes sense, but there's only one word that describes it, and that is love. Jesus jumped out of that boat, ran over to you on top of the water. He saw your hand while you were sinking, and he grabbed you and he pulled you up. He grabbed you and he pulled you up. God will never leave you stranded. God will not hang you out to dry. God will not turn his back on you. And I'm here to tell you this morning, God will not let you sink. There's always a but. All you got to do is reach. You have to reach. When you reach, he's going to see that hand above the water. And if you get lucky, maybe even in slow motion, he'll reach down, yank you up. He'll pull you out. But if you don't reach, if you don't make that choice, if you don't decide that you're going to reach for him and let him save you, then sadly, I'm also here to tell you that you will sink. There's no in between. And you can't swim out on your own. There's not a ladder at the edge that you can swim to and climb out. You have to reach for him. You have to let Christ save you. You have to let Jesus do what he came here to do, and that's save your soul. And I think about it when I decided to become a Christian. I can see Jesus asking me after he pulled me up out of the water, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" And the only thing that I can think to say is what they said: "Truly you are the Son of God." It's the only thing I can think to say. So this morning, I know this wasn't a very long lesson, but I think it was practical. I hope you got something out of it. And this morning, I'm here to tell you, if you haven't reached for Jesus, if you haven't decided that you want to go down the path and walk with Christ, then I'm telling you, reach for him today. Reach for him now. Because there is no doubt that as soon as you do, he's going to reach down and yank you right up. And he's going to save you. So this morning, if there's anything that we can do for you, if you haven't become a Christian or if you need prayer to the church, there's people here that can help you, pray with you, and help you with whatever you need. So if anything, please come while we stand and while we sing.